Well, my darlings, here we go. And here is another late night with the lady. And I'm just going to tell you another one. I was going to approach this one gingerly, but I got to share with you. Last night, after I went to bed, I kind of dozed off. And sometimes I get those little messages, premonitions, something like that. I had the TV on. Riley was laying on my pillow, and all of a sudden I heard water and someone holler, "No." And I came up out of there thinking, what have I just heard? And I have not paid attention that much to the Nolan Wells case. I know he's missing. I know there was a boat involved and all this other. And I kind of looked at it today and we're getting pulled in. Get ready, we're getting pulled in. So here we go, my darlings, on the Nolan Xavier Wells. And I happen to like that name, Xavier. Don't know why, I just do. Always have. So here we go. Big bulk of bull, and we're going to need it for this case, my darlings, because it is definitely Nolan Wells, and there is definitely some improprieties, some suspicion, some negativity. I'm going to say it this way. Some conflict of interest as well. But let's go over things a little bit, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take on this case. You're going to start seeing this, as well as Nancy, as well as some other ones. And if you haven't been over there so far, I am inviting you to go to at the still case, where I am doing crime reenactments on the tubes of you with mannequins. And believe me, that sounds like, these are not store mannequins, my darlings. These are, it can get a little creepy, but there's a reason that I did that, but we'll go over that. And Monday night, we're going to start talking really deep down diving on Nolan Wells. We're still going to talk about Nancy Nolan. Now, here's the thing. It was, well, first of all, Nolan, I'm going to say he was a rising sophomore at, I want to get this right, Southwest Mississippi Community College. And he was a wide receiver, football player, doing really, really well. Now, there's been a little conflict. Some reports say that the Cajun Navy found Nolan, but from my understanding, it was a National Park Service ranger that actually found him on July 6th. He was found. It's so sad because he went missing July 4th. And you know what? That poor mama, these poor people, especially when there's a particular holiday on top of losing someone, that'll never be the same. That would never be the same. And I'm going to tell you, there are some things here that kind of give me the willies a little bit. Kind of sort of like Nancy Guthrie in a way. Maybe the John O'Keefe, that type of thing, although I don't think there's the corruption in the law enforcement, in my opinion. But I heard an entire distress call today, and I heard the background. And it was when I heard that, it matched up with that premonition that I had last night. So this young man went out with 7 other people on this boat. Somebody's grandfather. It was his boat. And there's supposedly, allegedly, some girl that Nolan decided that he wanted to take up with. And the friends, the 6 friends, are saying, oh no, we told him, come on, we're leaving, come on, we're leaving. But then he didn't come on the boat. Now, this young lady says that's not the true story. And then there was a distress call for help because they said they were taking in water on the boat. But in the background, you can hear somebody saying, is he unalive? Now they were saying the D word. Is he unalive? Oh no. And then they said, no, no, which I believe is what somebody called Nolan was no. And then once again, that connected with that premonition that I had last night. See, there's some things that are going on here because there are some deleted messages, sort of, kind of, maybe, supposedly. No, we don't know yet. Actually, the coroner has not even released the autopsy yet, and Colin Kaepernick, I think, paid for another one, a private one for another ME to go in and do the autopsy. We don't know. We haven't heard anything about that. But these deleted messages kind of got me because look, this man is 18 years old. He was on Snapchat. He's on all the socials. And the family says that photos, videos, messages, all these from social media is disappearing, has disappeared. So both parties have agreed now to some forensic on the phones, on the devices. And when that happens, they're going to be checking data from Snapchat, Meta, which is the Book of Faces, and WhatsApp. That's also owned by Meta, and then the Talkie Tick and Life 360. So the current term that everybody is using, because the family of Nolan is saying, wait a minute, there's stuff missing. So they're saying so far, allegedly missing or deleted content, because they have to say that until they can find it. Now look, I'm going to tell you something. These kids, and that's what they were out partying. And if you would have seen some pictures of these boats, I would have had a fit. There were a lot of people. And I mean, I think there were 3 boats of many, many people. But there were many, many people on top of this. How could you? I mean, that had a potential to be even more disastrous than what it was, and this is bad enough. So I want to talk about this one thing that I just don't know. You see, because there's a judge that is involved, and actually her name, let me look, I wrote down all this and I want to look, give me a second. I want to make sure that's correct because I'm just getting into it. Give me a second. Okay, she's actually, they call her a judge, but her name is Ashley Cole, and she is the mother of Warren Hudson, who was on the boat with Nolan Wells. Now, I believe there's a potential conflict here because this is a local chancery judge. And Nolan's family is basically saying, I'm really uncomfortable. I would be too. And I think you would be too. The family has questioned whether the relationship created an appearance of a conflict. So they're not saying that there is, but there's definitely this idea, because one of the pictures I saw was that judge was right down, she was in the midst of all of it. So is she giving advice to someone? Is she, because, okay, on this distress call, that's the thing. I'm going to keep, and I will play that for you on the still case. But my darlings, when you hear this, this is not for the faint of heart. Because you hear people screaming in the background and everything else, and this one boy, and he acts like a boy, this one young man on the phone trying to talk, and you know he's distracted by what's going on in the background, and you can hear several people saying, "Oh no, check his chest, oh no." They're really going at it. I just feel that, first of all, a lot of witnesses are saying that Nolan consumed a lot of alcohol, and unfortunately, you know what happens when that happens. And we do not have the official toxology court. Can I talk? The official toxology report yet. Hoping to get that, but the results keep remaining pending. But here's the thing. The judge of this Jackson County district, the district attorney of Jackson County says that nearly every non-natural death in the county is presented to a grand jury. I don't think anyone is going to escape being indicted on this. And we're waiting to see, because usually, these indictments are held behind closed doors. You don't see anybody. But here's the thing, my darlings. Somebody's mother is a judge. And is that going to be hard to overcome? I don't know. I don't know. But they're wanting to know if it belongs to a balanced, because it may be related to an accidental, what happens when you fall in the water and you can't survive. But it's not a proven fact yet. And so my darlings, look, indictment. And I'm also going to tell you this. If no one gets indicted, the family of this young man is going to rage, and be prepared to see that. Because I'm going to tell you, Al Sharpton was there, standing there, but I'm going to hand it to his mother. His mother was polite and respectful. She gave this statement at a podium, was very classy, non-threatening, and basically said they want to know. And that Nolan was a wonderful young man and he had his life ahead of him. The thing that makes me suspicious is this call. And if the DA plays that call where the background noise is cleaned up, and the copy that I have, it is cleaned up, so you can hear what's going on in the background. And also, one party is saying, "Oh no, he didn't get on the boat. He didn't go back with us. He was going to stay. He said he was going to stay with this girl, and we went back." And yet, somebody was asked to count the heads on the boat, and there were technically 7 with Nolan there. And you can hear the struggle in the call. That is what's telling me. So let's get out some cards, my darlings, and let's see what's going to happen in this Nolan Wells case, because I'm just at the beginning of digging into this one. I haven't even been able to get my target social media done. I'm just picking this up. I had a lot to do today, but I wanted to bring this to you because we're going to get started. This is something, when you hear this, you're not going to be able to let go. And that's kind of how I feel about it. So hello, Happy day. And if this is going the way that I think it's going, we may have to do a remote view for Nolan. So, all right, my darlings, because I do have the coordinates. I have the coordinates where the boat was. I have all these things from what I found today. Let's get some cards. Here we are back again, my darlings. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe. And if you haven't gone to the channel first, head on over there. I will also collaborate with them, so when you click on the subscribe button, you'll see the still case as well. So that way when Monday comes, and even before, you're not going to miss anything. We're going to talk about diving into this and what all we need to do in order to accomplish what we need, in order to do our little own investigations. We have the House of Zelda cards, we have the Cartomancy deck, and we have the Piotnik deck. My favorite combo when starting out, because we kind of get the best. It's well-rounded. Both of these are Oracle. Right now I'm not pulling in a tarot, because I think that I can get more from these, and especially from this. Remember, in the old days, yeah, about 150 years ago when I started, right? I only read the regular playing cards, and then of course my grandmother's Gypsy Witch playing cards. But those, I mean, honestly, I'm going to admit it to you, but I was 15 and didn't have access to anything. I didn't even know tarot existed. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And the playing cards gave me such well-rounded information. Frankly, I don't really even think I needed it. I mean, it would have been probably nice. The truth is being hidden. That is our first card. We don't need to be psychic to understand that one. Let's get another one. What truth is being hidden? We want to tap into that energy of this Nolan Wells case. What is this energy, please? What is this energy? Time to rest. We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to it. All right, show us if there's a particular area that we need to concentrate on. What is the particular area that we need to concentrate on, please, for Nolan Wells? That's interesting, because this is a card that means earned wealth, but it also means that you earn your place, you earn your station, you earn your employment, you earn the position that you've earned it. And I believe, because first of all, I do believe he was a lovely young man and very, very well liked, and he earned it. But this card is also telling me that there's some, I don't know why, there's something about money here. And this is like I said, this is the new part of this. We may have to put that on the shelf, everybody, but there's something here. Something here. Show me now what we need to know. Why? Well, first of all, I'd like to also know if you can tell me why I heard the water. What can I bring to this? How can I help? What can I bring to this? I heard no, very loud. No, and then water. So, fortune. That's funny, but look at this. Fortune, and then the cornucopia is held in somewhat of a wrong way. So I'm wondering if someone's luck ran out. If there was something going on between Nolan and someone else, could it have been? We'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna start speculating. You see this German word here? Glück. That's Glück. It means luck. Did his luck run out? This time of rest. Okay, I just heard it. So this time of rest mean he was going there wanting a holiday, wanting to rest, because he was just getting ready to start his sophomore year at college. And he wanted to, that's again, Southwest Mississippi Community College, a football player. He was a rising sophomore. So he wanted some R&R before okay. But the truth is hidden. That's interesting. All right, tell us more. Where do we go now? What direction? There's many. Tell us. His luck ran out. That's kind of... See, look. Because I don't feel that his family were, like, wealthy. I think they were comfortable. But I don't believe that they were. Maybe I'm wrong. But see, I don't look at people to judge that type of thing. And I know others do. Can you tell me about this telephone call? Tell me about the telephone call. Isolated. This is a card of isolation, loneliness. So he was isolated from everyone. He seemed like he was alone from everyone. And see, I don't see how this can. If you listened, when you listen to that call, I do not see how anybody can say, oh, it's an accidental D word in the water, because it sounds like he's on the boat. And these kids called up to say, oh, we're taking on water. And then like 30 minutes later, the man who owned the boat, which was somebody's grandfather, called and said, oh, no, never mind. Because they had stopped. Okay, I just heard a word. So tell me, was this part of a cover-up? Because I think Grandpa's going to get in trouble. See, they were having a good time on this boat. I mean, if you should have seen. And it was a visit. So he was having a good time, met this girl, went to visit her. But what about the call? Is the call significant in this, or is there something more? Is there something more, or is the call significant? There is the young man who was on the call. That's the grandpa. And that is a 4. You know how I say about 4s. This is a card that's frustrating. And you can hear it on the call. Because now the operator is, because at first it was like, we're taking in water. We're taking in water, help us. And the operator says, is it ankle deep? And you hear silence. And he said, huh? Huh? What? Hey? And she's like, how deep is it? Is it over your ankles? Oh, well, I don't know. We're just taking on water. Now look. If you were taking on water and you made that phone call, you would say, ma'am, we need water. We have a hole. pardon me. We need help. We need a tow. Because he's basically saying, look, we have the service, so you can just come out and tow us. What? It sounds like you called because you're having an emergency. If you're taking on water, now I'm not a boater, but I think it's reasonable to think that if you're taking on water and you call for some type of an emergency service, maybe it wasn't an emergency, so maybe it was just a towing service, but she was treating it as an emergency the moment that she heard they were taking on water. And then he's like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You're standing in the boat. Is it over your ankles? Is it up to your calf? Is it over your knees? Because if it's over your thighs, baby, you better get a life jacket because you're going to be swimming in just a few minutes, if not already. But he did not see. He was distracted. So you could tell he was frustrated because he did not feel that he was going to encounter those questions that the operator had. Get one more card. So he had to make a quick decision, and that's what that card is. He had to make a quick decision in how to handle it, and I suppose that is why I'm going to say he was elected to make that call, meaning nominated, meaning from the other. And then when there was the other call, I believe he called and said, oh no, Grandpa, was his name Jerry, I think, owns the boat and we got it started and now we're going, what? Did you have a bucket and did you bail the water out? There's something wrong. But help is coming from the cosmic unknown. And we're going to see this now. And imagine the Cajun Navy was there to help. What do we know about the Cajun Navy? Well, they were turned away from Arizona for the Nancy Guthrie case. They found Nolan. Face down near the northwest and wearing only swim trunks. There was some anger, and I think things were a little testy based on these two cards right here. Things were a little testy before they even left that morning. And quite frankly, I think they were too eager to say, oh, we left him behind. We left him behind. I think there's going to be implications of race in this. And it's gonna get out of hand. Now, this is all about paperwork. Okay, all right, that's coming up. Because the parents of Nolan gave a notice immediately to all that were on that boat. Do not erase anything. Do not get rid of anything. Do not hide anything. Like the Hickey baby thing. If you know, you know. So they were put on notice immediately. But the young woman is definitely giving a different account. Definitely. I'm really looking forward to bringing you these reenactments because I think then you'll see. Then you'll see. We're doing Nancy. There's a lesson in this. Stolen. See, I'm wondering, did Nolan feel something was stolen? Was there money involved? Was there something involved? But look, there's water. Okay. Oh, wait, there's another card hiding there. No, never mind. We're just sitting on top of this one. We just came out of a full moon. Okay, look at this. The truth is being hidden. That is a very serious card, is that Joker. And it means that something is being so hidden that it's covered up and that it is buried. That's what that card, I mean, not physically, but, well, maybe, but metaphorically speaking, buried. There's some cards that came out, and look. Okay, so there's an officer, and I believe that officer's name is Ben Crump. Maybe. There's a lot of people involved. Forgive me if that's not correct, but there is somebody here that is doing, and see, anger, thief. There's all kinds of things here. Anger, thief. They're going to find out, I believe, that there was some type of altercation. Will there be an indictment? I'm going to put it to you this way. I will be surprised if there is not. And I believe that the phone call will be number one in pushing that. And then the second thing, because I'll tell you what, Mama, you go, girl. She's pushing for her son like all of us would be pushing for our family members and friends, right? But the first is the phone call, and then the second is the suspicious interaction, and the accounting of the young lady, supposedly, allegedly, that Nolan was reported that he wanted to stay behind and catch a ride later. And unfortunately, you hear that didn't happen. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you Monday night, and probably in between. We're getting started on Nolan Wells. May he rest in peace.